Good afternoon. I can tell that I'm the one from out of town because they made me follow Luis Valdez in his eloquent speech, so bear with me. I bring you greetings from Santa Cruz County. I love coming to San Benito County and Hollister because there's so much that Santa Cruz and San Benito share in common. We have some of the best agricultural fields anywhere in the country. And we depend on that not only for so many of us for our livelihoods, but for the food for our communities and communities across the country. We also have a beautiful area. As was mentioned earlier, the Pinnacles National Monument is just one more reason why people come to San Benito County, just like they come to Santa Cruz County to enjoy the fresh air, the beautiful landscapes, and the work that we've done together to preserve these open spaces and beautiful places for recreation. In Santa Cruz County, we look at these values, and we recognized several years ago that the dangers of hydraulic fracking were real in Santa Cruz County. The Monterey Shale, they told us, was the largest oil deposit anywhere in the country, and that it was going to solve our energy woes. Now, we've seen this story before. In the 80s, they said that they needed to drill off the coast of California because we had to break our dependence on Middle Eastern oil. And communities across the state, coastal communities across the state, said it would ruin our way of life. It would pollute our environment. It would kill our tourism. And in Santa Cruz County, we worked together to draft an ordinance that prevented oil companies from using Santa Cruz County as a place where they could process their oil. And when we did it in Santa Cruz, they started doing it in coastal communities throughout the state. And we successfully stopped offshore oil drilling in California. And they warned us. They said, you're going to become we're going to have greater dependence on oil from foreign countries. We'll fight wars over it. Well, here we are in 2014, and there's this boom of fracking that is going on in this country. And they say, see, this is the great economic driver of our community. We will be able to solve our energy woes. Well, they had a story in the New York Times just this week saying that the United States is going from an energy user to an energy supplier. We are now shipping oil to other countries. And in fact, since the mid-'80s, when they told us that we had to drill offshore because we needed that oil, oil exports in this country have gone up 600%. And so now that they want to frack here in San Benito County and in other places in California, they're telling us that we need to do it because we need to break this dependence on foreign oil. But as we've become an oil exporter, our gas prices haven't gone down. Our oil prices haven't gone down. They've continued to spiral upward. So they're not operating in the best interest of the community or the nation. They're taking care of themselves. When we share this great agricultural land, one of the lifeblood of that agricultural land is the water that we use in order to till the fields and help the plants grow. In Santa Cruz County, we don't get water from anywhere else. We have to depend on it on our own. Most of the water in Santa Cruz County comes from under the ground. And when the Board of Supervisors in Santa Cruz took a look at what the dangers of fracking would be, we saw reports from Cornell University, MIT, Stanford, and a host of other universities that looked at where fracking was taking place. And they said, well, about 6 to 7% of the wells in Pennsylvania, my home state, 6 to 7% of those wells leaked. Well, in Santa Cruz County, given how precious water is, if we have 6 or 7% leakage in wells that contaminate our aquifers, it's game over. We no longer have great agricultural fields. We no longer have a tourism industry. We no longer can support basic life in Santa Cruz County. We weren't willing to take that risk, and the Board of Supervisors voted unanimously a couple months ago to ban fracking in Santa Cruz County now and forever. And let me tell you just a story from my past to help you understand why you're going to be successful in the Measure J fight. In 1979, I was 14 years old, and 3 Mile Island happened in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, my hometown. They came to our schools and they closed the windows. They said, we don't want the radiation getting in. And I knew that that was not something that was going to protect us, and my family evacuated our homes. And it was the seminal political event in my life. It got me involved with doing grassroots organizing. It got me involved working with my community to fight energy companies, to get involved in changing legislation, to understand what was available out there. And at the time they said, you don't know what you're doing, Harrisburg. You don't know what you're doing, liberals. We need this power, and we're going to have to depend on nuclear power in the future. You can't stop us. But in every year since 1979, there has not been one nuclear power plant built in this country because the people in the United States have risen up and have stopped the big power companies from doing that. You can do that here in San Benito. You in San Benito will not be bought by $1 million ad buy. You in San Benito County can stand up to the oil companies and say, we care about our environment, we care about the future of our agriculture, we care about the health of our community, and you don't have to wait for them to tell you what to do. You can get involved right now on the Measure J campaign and beat back the oil companies and take control of your community. You can do it. It's an honor to be here today in support of the Measure J campaign. And I cannot stress enough that if the people work together in San Benito County and can successfully pass Measure J, not only will you protect San Benito County, but you will set the standard for the rest of California. We've tried to do that in Santa Cruz. We did it one way in Santa Cruz. By the people voting on Measure J here in San Benito, you can set the standard, and it'll send shockwaves through California. I'm hoping you do it. I know you can. I'm looking forward to your victory party. Thank you very much.